smoothly, stepping protectively in front of the Admiral. It's funny, you should ask. See, we'd love to hand it over, but my sub-manager here seems to have misplaced it. Zorgon sneered. You think you can play games with me, Starwind? We have you outgunned. We are ready to shoot. You have 3 seconds to produce 42,000 credits, or I turn you and this Admiral into space dust. No, wait. Wait a minute, please, Quigley screamed, dropping to his knees. I beg of you, give us a break. Give us just a little time to find the money. Zorgon laughed, a wet, terrible sound. Time? I'll give you time, little man. I'll give you exactly 3 seconds. 1. Jax's mind raced. He had no weapons. The station security droids were offline. He backed up against the large, bronze antique cannon that decorated the center of the hangar, a relic from ancient Earth maritime history, entirely useless in space. 2. Zorgon cocked his weapon. Hey, wait! Jax yelled, slapping the side of the bronze cannon. If you shoot, I'll fire this. Zorgon paused, then burst into uproarious laughter. Get down, Starwind. You're embarrassing yourself. Yes, it does. Jax bluffed, his hand desperately searching the back of the cannon. His fingers brushed against something. A thick, woven string. A fuse. And next to it, a ceremonial antique lighter that Quigley had left on the display plaque. All I gotta do is light the fuse. See? Jax sparked the lighter and touched it to the fuse. It hissed, violently throwing off sparks. Admiral Vance dove behind a stack of luggage. Quigley covered his eyes and whimpered. Unfortunately for you, Starwind. Zorgon sneered, stepping closer, completely unafraid. I know for a fact that cannon is empty. You think that heroic stunt is going to do you one bit of good? Say goodbye, Kabovum. The sound was deafening. The antique cannon roared to life with a concussive blast that knocked everyone in the hangar off their feet. A massive cloud of thick, black smoke filled the air, smelling of sulfur and burnt ozone. Zorgon screamed as the sheer kinetic force of the blast knocked him and his goons backward, sending them tumbling back through the breached doors of their ship. But it wasn't a cannonball that shot out of the barrel. As the smoke began to clear, a strange, fluttering sound filled the hangar. It was raining, but not water. Hey, look! Gloop yelled, catching a fluttering piece of paper with 2 of his hands. It's a 20 credit note. A 50! Quigley shrieked, suddenly standing up, tears of joy streaming down his face. Oh boy! Talk about manna from the cosmos. It's the payroll. Thousands upon thousands of crisp, high-denomination galactic credit notes were floating down from the ceiling, covering the floor, the pirates' bodies, and Admiral Vance's impeccable uniform like a layer of highly lucrative snow. Jack stood there, his face covered in black soot, a dumbfounded expression on his face. He looked at the cannon, then at Quigley. Quigley, Jax coughed out. Did you stuff 42,000 credits down the barrel of an antique gunpowder cannon to hide it from pirates? I think I did, sir. Quigley beamed. It was the last place anyone would look. Admiral Vance slowly stood up, brushing a 1 to 100 credit note off his epaulets. He looked at the groaning, defeated pirates on the floor. He looked at the raining money, and then he looked at Jack Starwind. Starwind, the Admiral said, his voice terrifyingly quiet. Yes, sir? Jack saluted, expecting to be executed on the spot. That was the most unorthodox, reckless, insane, and brilliant tactical maneuver I have ever witnessed in my 40 years of service. Vance's stern face broke into a massive, booming laugh. You lured the pirates into a false sense of security, used a non-lethal kinetic blast to subdue them, and simultaneously secured the station's payroll from theft. Incredible, Jax blinked, instantly recovering his swagger. Well, you know how it is, Admiral. Just standard operating procedure here at the Nebula Oasis. I am impressed, Captain. Deeply impressed. When Director Fig recovers, I will personally inform him that he is running a tight, highly creative ship. Meanwhile, up in the medical bay, Director Bartholomew Fig lay in bed, his stomach genuinely churning in agony from the expired alien eggs. He stared at the ceiling, a miserable, pained smile on his face. It's done, Fig thought happily to himself as he clutched a hot water bottle. By now, Vance has seen Starwind's absolute incompetence. The pirate attack was the cherry on top. Starwind is ruined, fired, gone forever. And my hands are completely clean. I am a tactical genius. Down in the hangar, Jack Starwind was cheerfully helping the Admiral stuff handfuls of cash back into a duffel bag. You know, Admiral, Jax grinned. I think Fig is going to be absolutely thrilled when he hears how well today went. I'm sure he will be, Starwind, Vance chuckled. I'm sure he will be. The Chaos Chronicles of Zephyr 9. A Space Odyssey of Idiocy by your AI novelist. Chapter 1. The Garter Belts of Galactic Proportions. The year was 3045, and the furthest reaches of the Gargantua sector were not being conquered by brave explorers or terrifying aliens. Instead, they were being mismanaged by Commander Barnaby Barnacle. Barnacle was a man whose blood pressure was roughly equivalent to the atmospheric pressure of a gas giant. He sat in his command chair on Outpost Zephyr 9, clutching a requisition form like it was the last scrap of sanity in the universe. Garter belts, Barnacle shrieked, his voice cracking like a dry laser biscuit. Sterling, you are the supply officer of this quadrant. If the space nurses need high-tension garter belts for their vacuum seal hosiery, you snap to it. Shake a photon leg. Everything literally, the weight of the entire galaxy is on my shoulders. Standing before him was Captain Jax Sterling. Jax was a man who wore his flight suit unzipped just enough to suggest he had a secret beach house on a forbidden planet. He leaned against the holographic console with a smirk that had successfully de-escalated 3 planetary wars and started at least 5 others. Easy, Barnacle, Jax drawled. The nurses are fine. They've been using bungee cords from the cargo bay. Very futuristic. Bungee cords? Barnacle's eyes bulged. I just got a transmission from Sector Command. High Commander Iron Lung Vorak is arriving today for a sneak inspection. Vorak, the man who court-martialed his own shadow for being too slow. If he sees bungee cords, he'll have us cleaning plasma vents with our toothbrushes. Barnacle's office phone buzzed. He snatched it up. Hello? Yes, this is Commander Barnacle. Who did you expect? The Nebula Queen, the sinks in the Petty Officer's Lounge, are backing up with green sludge again? What do you want me to do? I'm the commanding officer, not a space plumber. He slammed the phone down and swallowed a handful of anti-indigestion pills. My stomach acid could fuel a warp drive. Sterling, I'm sick. I feel the space plague coming on. Suddenly, a wicked light flickered in Barnacle's eyes. If he was sick, he couldn't be held responsible for the inspection. He could appoint an Actin-based commander, someone he hated, someone who would inevitably fail and take the fall. Sterling, Barnacle said, suddenly sounding very frail. I am ready to accept the supreme test. I am appointing you as acting base commander of Zephyr 9. You and your band of cosmic cutthroats are in charge. Jax blinked. Me? In charge of the whole station? Barnacle, you must be joking. I'm a star pilot. I belong in a cockpit, not behind a desk. It's an order, Barnacle yelled, then immediately began coughing melodramatically. I'm terribly sick. Call the medbot. Cragstone, come quick. Your commander is fading into the great beyond. Lieutenant Cragstone, Barnacle's sycophant-in-chief, rushed in. Sir, oh, the tragedy. You look like you've been hit by a comet, sir. As Barnacle was wheeled away toward the infirmary, he hissed into Cragstone's ear. This is perfect. Sterling will turn this station into a riot, and Vorak will arrive just in time to vaporize his career. It's the happiest illness of my life. Chapter 2. The Sultan and the Space Chicken. Jack Sterling sat in the big chair. He felt like a king, or at least a very well-paid pirate. Beside him sat Officer Percy Pringle, a man whose primary skill was being nervous in 3 different languages. Percy, Jack said,